So you're bummed because you can't afford a traditional home. Home on its own land with maybe a backyard and a white picket fence. Well, coming up, I've got a great alternative for you to that traditional home. An alternative you're all too familiar with that, for the most part, is less expensive and has a lot more inventory. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hey, I'm going to get straight to the point. The alternative to your traditional home is a condo. Now, I know a lot of you guys are just rolling your eyes because that's kind of a reaction I get from a lot of my buyers when I bring up a condo, because I get it. When you think of condo, you think of three letters, HOA. And I know it sucks. A lot of them are ridiculously high. And a lot of times just that the HOA is run by morons. And I say that because my sister got stuck in one in South Florida, and it's, wasn't run well, and now they're stuck with a special assessment. But there are ways to figure that out. See if the HOA is run well, and make sure you're not going to get caught up in a special assessment down the road. But I'll go over that later on in the video. And also, you know what? I'm going to do a video on that, on the resale certificate that is attached to a condo. Guys, again, when I tell my buyers, I go, look, yes, I know that HOA sucks when it comes to a condo, but for right now, you can't afford a home and you want to get into the market. Well, that's one way to get into the market, the real estate market, by getting a condo. And then later on, you sell the home and then you can buy your traditional home. Also, I tell them, I go, look, consider that there's a lot of expenses when you own a home. You still got to do upgrades to the house, maintain the house, whether it's the landscaping, the interior, the exterior. Those are a lot of costs that just build up because you're not part of an HOA. And there's also, like I tell my buyers, I go, you go to Planet Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness. Well, a lot of these condos have their own gym. It's already baked into the HOA costs. And also security. If you go travel a lot, you're going to ask your relatives, friends, or maybe your neighbors to keep an eye on your house. When you have a good condo out there, most likely it's going to have some pretty good security out there. So things to consider, but maybe the biggest also is home insurance. It's a lot cheaper, your home insurance for a condo, than it is for a single family residential home. Now, you might have seen last week, I did a video on the real estate market here in the King County area, Seattle, the East Side, as the Northwest MLS came out with its numbers for February 2025. Now, one of the big numbers, one of the encouraging numbers for buyers was the amount of inventory out there, homes for sale. When you look at February 2024 to February 2025, we saw an increase by as much as 39% when you combine residential homes and condos together in the amount of that inventory for sale. Homes are condos and residential homes that are for sale. When you separate the two, you see that the numbers for the condos improve that much more. So it's a great alternative you might want to consider. So right now I'm going to go over the numbers for King County for the month of February 2025. I'm going to go over Seattle and also the East Side. And on both sides, I'm going to show you some numbers that inflate the cost, the median sales price for both sides, and two condos in downtown Seattle, which is not too far away from here, that you will not believe the cost, especially the HOA. Hey guys, before I show you those numbers, I'm Julian Gonzalez. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm a real estate broker with RSVP Brokers ERA in Bellevue. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. At any point of this video, you like something, greatly appreciate you liking, maybe subscribing to my channel, and also turn on notifications. That way, every time I upload a video, it might be that one video that helps you make some kind of decision when it comes to real estate, whether it's buying or selling. Now, let's start off by taking you out to King County, okay? King County, these are numbers for February 2025, and I'm only going over condos. Residential, I did it last week. You go into my channel, and you can find that video there. So impressive numbers out there. And one number that everybody looks for is the median sales price. So the median sales price month in February was $625. That number for the month of January, in other words, 30 days prior, was $600. So we are already starting on the hot side when it comes to 2025. Year over year, 2024 to 2025, it was an increase by as much as 13%. Now, when I told you at the top of the video that condos might be a good alternative to get in because the cost of a single family residential home might be too high, well, consider that this number for the month of February, when it came to a single family residential home, the number was $931,000. So that's almost a $300,000 difference. So you can see why I'm telling you that maybe might want to consider condos, but make sure you look at one that has a good HOA, a strong HOA, and also is not too high. Another big number to look at here, as you could take a look at all these numbers, is the amount of inventory of homes for sale. We saw an increase by as much as 71%. Now, that number for January was 85%. Sorry, I got a little cheat sheet here. A lot of numbers you got to have to think about, or I got to remember. So I did my little cheat sheet. I have no problem saying that. Okay, so now months of inventory, 2.8. Guys, remember once again, a healthy market's 4 to 6 months, which means that if you were to sell all the inventory that's out there for King County, it would take 2 to 8 months to sell. A healthy market's 4 to 6 months. So that's very, very low, but you consider for the month of January, that number was 3.47, and that's because we just started the year. We're talking about the slow time of the year, right, in real estate, which is November, December, January, and parts of February, right? Mostly the holiday seasons, as you've always seen in my videos. I tell you, watch out for the holiday period, because that might be the best time for a lot of you buyers to buy. Increase of 55% from that 12-month period, February 2024, February 25. And so that's a good number. As I told you at the top of the video, an increase of 39% across the state when it comes to inventory. So let's move on now. I'm going to show you now I'm going to show you Seattle. Let's see, I get this thing down now. I'm talking about Seattle. This is what this MLS considers Seattle. Look at the numbers for Seattle in regards to condos, February 2025. How about this median sales price increase by as much as 18% from the 12 months prior, so the number is 787. That's a huge number. When in regards to single family residential home, if you want to compare it, the number was $965,000. That's a disgusting increase. How about active listings? This is a great sign. As I told you, the increase in inventory out there as much as 142%. For the month of January, that number is only up at 52%. Only 52 is big, but this is a whopping number. Pending sales right here, an increase of 17%. To handshake, that's when two people, the parties, buyers, sellers, are already under contract. So that's a good number to see out there for a lot of you guys out there. And the amount of units sold, condos, that's an increase of 28%. When you look at the month prior, it was 60% inventory. That's really, really low, right? 2.26. However, in the month of January, that number was 4.37. So we are seeing a little uptake in the amount of inventory out there. Although we're seeing more inventory, but still buyers, a lot of it might be you, that are waiting for those interest rates to go down, and you're trying to time it. Good luck with that one. As I said so many times before. Now let's take you out to the east side, okay? Show out to the east side. This is the east side. You see Kirkland, Bellevue, blah, blah, blah. It takes you all the way, as I've said before, Highway 2, parts of Highway 2, all the way towards Leavenworth. These are the numbers for the east side. And of course, they're shocking once again. Median sales price for a condo is $625,000. Single family residential home in the east side for February 2025, $1.7 million. So you can see there's a good alternative for you guys out there, whopping almost a whole $1 million difference. Total active listings, you see an increase of 55%. When you look at the month of January, that number is actually, amazingly, that number was 128% an increase of the, get this little video right there. And then you see pending sales, 267. In the amount of units sold, this number here in the month of January was 77% increase. That's an amazing number. So again, as I said it not too long ago, I tell my buyers, look, if you want to look for good deals, look around the holidays, because again, your competition's looking somewhere else. And then you can ask your seller, the more days on market's out there, it's a good time to ask the seller for concessions. But you know what? Let me go back. I'm going to show you something here. This number right here, 50 days on market, 50 days, guys. The higher that is, so it's taking 50 days to close until it got sold, the unit gets sold. Come into agreement till it's sold, 50 days. A lot of units out there that you could, the longer it's out there, that you could ask concessions from the seller, whether it's buying down your rate, paying for your closing costs, or also bringing down the price, or maybe all of the above if you're lucky. Now, take you out to this little area, okay? And I said to you guys, you know, there's an area that's really inflating the price out on the east side. Well, this is the area, guys. You're like, Julian, where am I? I can't figure it out. Okay, so this is in Woodinville. Okay, this is the part of the 405. You get off here, Woodinville. Here, exactly this little spot right here, guys, that's Chateau Saint-Michel, right? Great little winery. If you're not from this area, that's where everybody loves to go. Great concerts in the suburb. Look it up. They actually have a good lineup. I saw not too long ago. So this little community right here, this is new development, new construction basically out there. And this little area here is called River Run at Harvest, okay? A lot of those homes are in the 3.2 condos, 3.2 million range, $3.2 million. And guys, remember, when we think of condos, sometimes you think of a building, right? I live in a building, and people think in condos. But it could also be you can have 4 homes, you know, I guess I call my Kia homes. All together, they play in HOA. As long as you're paying an HOA, it's considered a condo. It doesn't have to be a traditional building. So this little community right here is inflating the prices. And also right here across the Saint-Michel and Sammamish River, here's another community called Legacy Farm Townhomes and Legacy Home Estates. This little area, you go from $1.5 million all the way to $3 million. So it's a crazy price, but none like the two I'm about to tell you guys when it comes to condos. These are 2 units in, not too surprising, the downtown area. There's one right here called a building called Escalo, which is a fascinating building. It's really nice. I've dealt in that building before. The business that building, they got a winery in there, or a chiller, what they call it. You put your bottle in there and it chills it, blah, blah, blah. It has a gym, has a pool, has everything in there, okay? There's a unit there for sale, 240 something days on the market. Okay, this is gonna be for you if you can afford this one. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 5,200 square feet. They reduced the price, which is great. The cost, and it's on the 30th floor, it takes up half the floor, the 30th floor. The cost, $11.5 million for a condo. And we talked about how much a HOA costs and how terrible it is. Well, how about whoever buys this house? The condo, the HOA, $5,300 a month for an HOA. But it doesn't compare to this one right here. Now, we've all heard about the 4 Seasons, right? So believe it or not, what a lot of people don't realize, the 4 Seasons actually hotel and private residence also there, okay? There's a unit there. Amazing view of Elliott Bay, Puget Sound, for all of you guys that are not from this area. That unit is cheaper. It's not 11.5. This one's at $9.7 million. It's only 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 4,500 square feet. 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 4,500 square feet, $9.7 million. However, the HOA, $8,700. That's crazy, guys. Whether it's these buildings, which you could call me if you could afford it, or any other building, the important thing, guys, is that you gotta look for the resale certificate. The resale certificate will tell you the health of the HOA. Whether something if there's enough money in the HOA, because remember, when you pay your monthly dues, it goes into what they call the reserves, which is kind of like a savings account for the association. And there you can ask them for the resale certificate, and it kind of tells you if there's enough money to pay not only for things that need to be done this year, but also in the future. And you kind of calculate. I can do a video for you guys to kind of see how you calculate if there might be a special assessment down the road if there's not enough money in the reserves. Good luck, guys.